Tim. Welcome to Watch You Want. Thanks for logging on. Today we're looking at the Patek Philippe Calatrava reference 5117J-001, 37 millimeters and 18 karat yellow gold. You can see this gorgeous hobnail Patek Philippe Calatrava on our website, watchyouwant.com. Purchase it there if you like, and if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Watch You Want Inc. You can see on my wrist 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference. This is a perfectly proportioned, thin, not quite ultra thin, but beautifully styled men's formal watch. The combination of the flowing integrated lugs, the crown guards, the hobnail bezel, and that beautiful high contrast black on white Roman numeral dial with blackened foy hands really pulls the look together. Now there are some elements here that are a little bit unconventional by Calatrava standards, and we'll get into that in a minute. But first, let's talk about fit and ergonomics. 9 millimeters thick, this one rides nice and low on the wrist. Although the hobnail bezel definitely has more texture and character to it, it's not significantly rougher or higher than a smooth bezel, so from a dress cuff or tight sleeve standpoint, it has no impact on the wearability of this one, which is excellent in any case. Now, lug to lug, this one does measure 46 millimeters, so although the lugs are highly sculpted and they have a lot of character, they don't flare out a ton, and you have a lot of flexibility in the strap, a beautiful rectangular scale alligator, so that if you do want on a smaller wrist, you can easily pull the strap down and you can get a nice tight bend around the wrist without any flare up. It won't fight you, and you can see there's plenty of gap to allow flexibility where it abuts the case. Now, a nice feature of this watch is that it sits light on the wrist. So this watch doesn't have the distracting properties of some modern oversized dress references, especially those that incorporate crown guards, because the proportions are beautifully balanced, but the size itself is nice and discreet. Again, 37 millimeters. This one has just enough of a sensation of precious metal heft without the huge footprint to become disruptive. Now, the dial, the bezel, the case, the crown guards, all of these have distinctive features that kind of divide Patek Philippe Calatrava fans into two camps. Now, the features that tend to distinguish Calatravas are the distinctions between smooth bezel or hobnail, crown guards or none, center seconds or sub-seconds at 6 o'clock, and date or no date. To a lesser extent, the question of manual or automatic winding comes into play. So you can see here with the hobnail, the date, with the center seconds, the crown guards, and yes, automatic winding, thanks to the caliber 315 SC. This is the more progressive Calatrava look. The hobnail became popular during the 1980s as the term Calatrava itself increasingly came to be associated with the simple time-only Patek Philippe watches of the mid-20th century, and really with the 3919, the hobnail became a sort of modern Patek Philippe classic styling signature. It's something that's come about in the luxury watch era in terms of where it started. Definitely came out of the 80s, but for many, there is no other way to have a Calatrava today. Moreover, the crown guards represent a more modern take on the Calatrava form. The original had a simple rounded case flank, but it gives the watch a nice integrated look with the flow of the lugs into the case, then up and around the crown. Again, it looks a little bit less discordant along the flanks of the case with the integration of the flow, the fluidity of those crown guards about the crown itself, and I like that. I like the fact that it is a practical watch. It's easier to read center seconds than it is to read sub-seconds. So from a daily wear standpoint, I feel that this is the one to have if you do want to use the seconds hand for any purpose. Bigger is better. And now the date aperture. This is something that those of us weaned on sports watches in the 90s have come to expect. The idea that your watch is going to tell time is a little bit anachronistic. We know we've got our phones for that, all manner of devices, tablets, computers. But the bottom line is, even though we don't need our watches to tell time, and we don't need our watches certainly to tell us the date, every single day I refer to my watch for the time and the date. So to have that, it's useful, it's practical, and as a user enthusiast, as a collector who also wants the watch to serve its intended mechanical purpose, I like the inclusion of a date. Now the contrast factor on this one is high. There is no luminescent material in dress watch fashion, but in any kind of light, even the low light, the filtered diffused light of my light box, you can see the superb contrast between the blackened foy hands for the hours and the minutes and the white matte base of the dial. Now all of the Romans are simple but highly legible. There's a great deal of effective simplicity here. The watch is in no way overwrought, overpopulated with graphics, or even overly textured. This is one of the few dress watches in the modern era that makes no attempt at elaborating the dial with changes of plane or guilloche or sunburst graining. Everything's accomplished through the drama of the bezel, which achieves a gem-like sparkle without inset gems, and the simplistic beauty of black on white. Now, the case back, however, does have a fair amount of fireworks. Now, this is the Patek Philippe 30-jewel automatic winding caliber 315, free-sprung with Patek's signature Gyromax balance. This is a rugged timekeeper with unidirectional automatic winding and a solid 46-hour power reserve. Now, being part of the mid-2000s series of Calatrava offerings, the 5117J that you see right here is an original Poinçon de Genève or Geneva hallmark watch. Before the move to the Patek Philippe seal in mid-2009, this was a grand standard dating back decades, and Patek Philippe was one of the great proponents of the Geneva seal standard and one of the leaders in Geneva standard finishing, and you can see all of that blazoned on the case back. You can see the circular Côte de Genève of the gold winding rotor and the inset engraved Calatrava cross. You can see the beautiful textured linear Côte de Genève across the bridges and a tight even perlage pattern across the base plate. Now, all of the screw heads are black polished. Patek is not one to subscribe to the cobalt heat blued school of screw design or finish, so you can see that all of the slots themselves are beautifully finished. All of the screw heads around their circumference are chamfered in gorgeous fashion. They have nothing to hide, and the more you can see, the better. Now, you can see a Geneva-style screwed-down stud holder, so not only is the watch finished to a beautiful degree, but it also shows many of the hallmarks that are distinctive in style of Geneva watch finishing. Now, all the jeweled sinks, you can see the jewel sinks themselves lighting up as I move the watch through the light. All of them feature the same high polish as the anglage of the edge of the bridges. It is a feast for the eyes, front and back. This is a thoroughly modern and thoroughly usable take on the Patek Philippe Calatrava continuity. So again, if you're into crown guard, fluid form, if you're into the beauty, the reflective radiance of the hobnail bezel, the common sense, high legibility black on white dial with the practicality of a date and the ease of center seconds, consider this 18-karat yellow gold 37mm Patek Philippe Calatrava, reference 5117J-001, on our website, watchyouwant.com.